What is up, guys? That's it here with another edition of the Sanctuary Sunday. Today we'll talk about the most influential religion in Sanctuary's history, the Zakarum faith. How did it come to be and how did it lead to the founding of West March? Listen on. In the centuries following the Mage Clan Wars, the pendulum between mysticism and faith swung heavily towards the latter. Humankind had seen the disastrous consequences of magic, and while these arts were still practiced by some, the majority began turning to faith as a foundation for their lives. This atmosphere gave rise to myriad religions, but none have moved and shaped history so much as the Zakarum Church. From Kane's research, it appears that the seeds of this faith were planted by a mysterious figure named Akarat at some point prior to the formation of the Haradrim. By the accounts Kane holds to be true, Akarat was a wandering ascetic from the rugged mountain island of Shiansai, north of Kyrgyzstan. Having become disillusioned with society and its incessant conflicts, he joined the ranks of a humble, meditative order that sought enlightenment and peace in Shiansai's high, snowy peaks. One night, while deep in meditation, he envisioned a spectacular flash of light and energy cascading across the sky. With this phenomenon came insight regarding the universe, reality, and humankind itself as an ascended power. Akarat attributed his revelation to an angelic being named Yarius, or Son of Light, in his native language. Kane's own explanation for Akarat's supernatural experience differs from historical accounts. Ever since the end of the Sin War, there have been rare reports of mystics witnessing what one can only describe as Odysseus' ultimate sacrifice and merger with the universe. Descriptions in the Book of Kalan note that the sudden release of his energies illuminated the sky quite brilliantly. Kane believes that this act still echoes throughout time, albeit on a psychic plane rather than a physical one, and can be seen only by those in deep meditation. Thus, Kane theorizes that it is this phenomenon that Akarat witnessed and interpreted as the being Yarius. Subsequently, Akarat wrote extensively about the role of humans as powerful beings of light, meant to bring alignment to all things in the universe. All men and women, he purported, were bound together in a spectrum of cosmic radiance that was the foundation of existence itself. Moved by what he saw, Akarat set out on a grand journey to the ancient cities of Kyrgyzstan, intent on enlightening his fellow man about the divine light that existed within everyone, no matter what their race, religion, or social status. He is said to have exuded selflessness and compassion in their purest forms. Over time, a number of loyal disciples flocked to Akarat's side. By all accounts, Akarat was kind, selfless, and unassuming. What Kane finds most interesting is that he never desired that his teachings would lead to the formation of a religion. His goal was simple: to share the wondrous things that he had learned so that others could live with goodness in their hearts. At some point, the lore varies on the date, Akarat disappeared into the jungles of Kyrgyzstan, content that he had spread his message to as many others as he could. He was never seen again. Over the following years, his ideals were carried on and preached in the streets of Kyrgyzstan's cities by a devout few. The name Zakarum came into use to describe those who followed the ideal of Zakara, or inner light. Akarat himself had never given a name to his beliefs, for he had never intended them to represent an actual institution. The appearance of this name, however, represents that the Zakarum faithful were becoming more of a formal group. When the Haradrim captured Mephisto's wretched essence within the Sapphire Soulstone, the mages turned to the Zakarum believers, who were, at the time, still a small and humble order, for assistance. Taurasha, in particular, had an affinity with the Fate's monks, and he firmly believed that they were the only individuals who could be trusted with guarding the Soulstone. As the Haradrim continued their hunt for the remaining primes, the Zakarum set about building a temple where they could safeguard Mephisto's soulstone. It was in the dense jungles near Kurast that they ultimately founded what became known as Travincal. This humble place of worship would later grow into a massive temple city at the heart of Eastern civilization. Much of what came to pass in the generations that followed has been written about extensively and is no mystery to those of us now living in modern times. In summation, the Zakarum order grew even more influential until it became the supreme political power in all of Kyrgyzstan. The faith's leaders codified their beliefs and created a religious hierarchy composed of different offices. The holy seat of the Kay-Hegan, the highest divine authority of the church, was established and filled. Under this revered figure, attendant archbishops of the High Council were tasked with administering the various territories under Zakarum control. With Kyrgyzstan under its heel, the church looked to what some saw as the barbaric and uncivilized regions of the west. Rakkis, a devout champion of the faith, marshaled a great host to claim and enlighten these lands in the name of the Kay-Hegan. His long and arduous crusade to colonize the West would modernize many of these lands, in some cases through brute force. Rakkis finally settled in West March, which was named to commemorate his grand crusade, and reigned as king of that region until the end of his days. Following the conquest, regional lords from the east were appointed to govern these new outlying hubs in the name of the Zakarum Church. With that, the faith's reach had spread to nearly every corner of the world, leaving only a scarce few regions untouched by its influence. And thus ends this week's Sanctuary Sunday. I hope you liked the tale of the Zakarum faith, and if you did, I would appreciate your subscription to my channel. Talk to me on Twitter and Facebook that I link below. See me live at twitch.tv/thedeadset, and I'll see you guys next time.